Otakuology Podcast with Otaku Mike and Jin Graves.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the Otakuology Podcast. I am here with Jin. My name is Mike.
What's up?
If you don't know what the Otakuology Podcast is, we talk about nerdy stuff like anime, manga, and we have a very, very special guest with us today. We have Ben, aka That Manga Guy. Say hi, Ben.
Gozaimasu. Ohio. Jin Benoit. Mayu Sendoru. You know. What's up, guys?
If you don't know who Ben is, he's what would you call yourself, Ben?
An asshole.
An asshole. Manga tuber, Instagrammer, TikToker.
What was the band name that they were gonna pick for Scott Pilgrim? A Fistful of Assholes.
Yeah.
There you go. That sums up Ben quite nicely.
I would say I'm a nerd aficionado.
All right.
Definitely.
Ben has been a friend of ours for quite some time. We met him on the YouTubes, and he wanted to come on our little podcast, hang out, chit chat, and stuff like that. So we will leave all his links to all his social medias down in the description. Go check him out. He is a fun guy to hang out with and talk to.
Yeah.
But anyways, Jen, do you want to start us off with?
Definitely. So I have to ask the mistake that happened earlier and what you thought about it. Mike's told me he's like, all right, I'm sending Ben the link. And he went, fuck, I sent him the link to the store. I wonder if he's going to click on it. I said, he's going to come back and be like, guys, I bought something, but where's the fucking link to get into the show?
Isn't technology great?
Yeah.
It would have been way better if you just sent a link to something completely random.
Oh, I think
why am I clicking on bustyasians.com?
Right?
Well, now I'm here, so, it'd be disrespectful if I just left it now.
Right? Or I'll save it for later. I'll come back to this.
Bookmark.
Right?
All right.
Goodness.
So my first question, I kind of feel is irrelevant now since we talked off air, but what inspired you to start your YouTube channel? And now it's kind of irrelevant, but what kept you going creating content?
Well, it all started when I was a stand-up comic.
Uh-huh.
I loved entertaining people, and that whole community was so toxic. You don't understand that on the other side of comedy is just hateful and spiteful, and everyone's out to do their best, but throw people under the bus if they have to. And I was getting really sick of it because I'm not a very politically correct comic. I think everything is to be able to joke about, if you're funny about it. And nothing's off the table and stuff. And everyone's so politically correct. It was kind of gross, the way they treat people. So I wanted to leave that. So I started streaming gaming on the Twitches.
I jump in and watch your Twitch.
It's a fun time.
It's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, so I did that for a bit, and work was getting in the way, and I'm like, man, I want to do something else, but I don't want to have to keep the schedule like Twitch does. So I'm like, I could make a YouTube video of gaming. No, screw that. I'm gonna do something of my other passion, and that was when I started collecting manga. So I made a few videos. I met a few people. I met you guys around that time.
Yeah.
We're a
And-
few.
We're a few people.
And so I did that, and everyone was, cool at the start.
Yeah.
It was sweet, and just learning to edit more and doing all that sort of stuff. And my first videos are horrible. I was like, let's go volume by volume reviews of like One Punch Man and stuff. And I
Yeah.
was sleeping at the end of these things.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do quicker videos, and then Instagram got into it. So I was trying to do that a little bit more. And I was starting to get sick and tired of like all these manga hauls. Like, you have to do a manga haul. Like, nobody really watches reviews. And
Yeah.
it was kind of getting stale for me. So I left a little bit, started doing TikToks, streaming a little bit more. Came back to YouTube a little bit just to be like, hey, I'm still live.
Yeah.
But I'm getting more into the short time frame
Yeah.
content, because like you spend 13 hours editing a YouTube video for people to be like, I would watch it, but I don't want anything spoiled. Well, come
Yeah.
on. So
Right.
that's just time efficiency, with full-time job, still streaming part-time, and then doing this. I want to make sure I can do everything without sacrificing quality for people.
Yeah, well, TikTok does have a big manga like presence on it that I found out. People are doing short manga hauls on there and doing short reviews and stuff like that. So there's a definitely an audience for your hobby of doing manga and stuff like that. I don't feel like we necessarily have to stay on YouTube anymore.
Right. I think YouTube is dying, and people that like are staying on it don't understand. Like, trends happen. So getting off topic of our joys and loves, but trends in media and in life, you usually get like 5 to 10 year stint on everything. Like, let's go back to like Yahoo. Yahoo was the biggest search engine when the internet came out, and then Google came out, and kind of just monopolized everything because they did it so well. And you don't see anything past that because you can't do better than Google.
Yeah.
Right.
But like MySpace came out and Facebook came out, and now kids don't even use Facebook anymore.
Nope, they don't even use MySpace anymore.
Well, nobody uses MySpace anymore. But what I'm saying is, like, trends happen, and you have to keep going farther and do the new stuff that everyone's doing.
Yeah.
And I think, when Vine hit, it was a big success, but that went down. So everyone kind of gravitated back to YouTube. But the bigger channels were doing the Vine compilations. Like, they just like took all the Vine videos, put it together to watch.
Right.
So you have to realize that YouTube in a form is amateur, video creating.
Yeah.
And now with technology and with the software and the hardware that comes out, amateur video creating is turning into professional video creating.
Yeah.
You can buy affordable editing software that's super good. You have these high quality cameras that you can buy that are HD. Microphones are super cheap. So with that, you're just putting money into YouTube, where you can essentially just embed your videos on like your own website, even like OnlyFans and stuff like that, and make money through that instead of just putting it on YouTube for people to fucking be douchebags on. But like with TikTok and with Instagram, that's where kids are, in the sense of like newer audience, and everyone like is just watching and gobbling up all this content. And YouTube is kind of that thing where you watch when like
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to sleep. You know,
Yeah.
it's dying. I'd
Do
say
you
Right.
in the next 10 years there won't be a YouTube
do you
market.
do you feel like there is a glass ceiling to like manga tube in general when it comes to
No,
creating content? Because
no.
people, I've heard people say that before. You know that there is a
I,
glass ceiling.
I feel like from what people are doing right now,
Mm-hmm.
yes, like
Okay.
there's a fictional glass ceiling that people talk about.
Uh-huh.
With, you talk about like a volume review. Hey, I just got this volume, I read it. Here's a little synopsis. Here's my take on it.
Yeah.
Or manga hauls, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much more that people can do if they actually got creative and thought for themselves.
Yeah.
Um, not saying you guys don't. I'm saying the community as a whole. Like you can do skits. You can talk about
Right. Right.
like character analysis
Yeah.
and do a whole bunch of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And people just kind of gravitate to the easy things. Oh, this worked in the past, so let's do it.
Let me take
Instead
you
of
to buy
trying to get
manga.
creative.
Which I mean, I feel like too. Just bouncing off all that, I feel like honestly, people that are kind of pigeonholing themselves into just doing like manga is actually kind of killing it off as well, because then you have people that are more flexible about it now. Like even on TikTok, you have people that do manga and then they're like, oh well, I also collect statues or Funko Pops or something else, and people are more gravitating towards the people that are flexible and have all these different ones because then they know the person versus, oh well, this person's just talking about manga.
Yeah.
So
Right. Like for my TikTok, I have a few like manga related stuff on there,
Yeah.
but a lot of it's more or less comedy,
Mm-hmm.
stitches and all that stuff. So
right,
you have to, I would say with the whole glass ceiling thing, you have to think outside of the box because those are the people that shoot through the moon, right? You can't just do the safe things and expect to grow. You could probably, I would say, maybe get a couple thousand by doing the same old thing.
right,
But after a year of that content, people are going to get bored. They're going to find something new and they're going to, go towards that. And you're going to die. You're always going to have to, reinvent yourself. Um, Kind of something like Gary Vee always says, never stop trying to improve what you do.
Yeah.
right, right,
Once you stop and you think you're on top, that's when somebody, is just going to shoot through and show you that, oh, well, I have 2.5 million subscribers or followers, um, you know, for manga content. And they'll be like, how'd you do it? And they don't do manga hauls. They don't do any of the new stuff. They do like, let's do cosplay and walk down the street and interview people as our favorite like manga characters. Like
right,
stuff like that, like crazy things that people be entertained by.
right,
And that's where the manga community needs to go, is to that like unsafe space where
Yeah.
you don't know if people are going to like it or not, but you try and see what's going to happen.
right. I totally agree. And I feel like, especially like with YouTube, there doesn't need to be that divide because like people go, "Oh well, are you a manga YouTuber or are you an anime YouTuber or do you do movies or do you do this?" And then it's like almost when you drop your
Like
first video, you're stuck in whatever
it's
that
it's
is.
like it's like the people pigeonholed you yourself.
Exactly. I
Like
Yeah,
mean,
that's the big thing with every single content.
yeah.
Like even streaming, you find a community and let's say you're streaming just Final Fantasy games, right?
Yeah.
And you just play Final Fantasy games, you're enjoying, and you get like let's say a couple thousand people watching you,
right,
and then you go, well, I also like World of Warcraft, so you start playing and you get like maybe like 100 people watching you,
Yeah.
There's certain aspects of once somebody does something for a little too long and people get comfortable with it, nobody likes change.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you have to, from the start, do a bunch of things. Even if they don't work out, do it because you don't fail, you learn,
Yeah.
right? So if you find out that nobody likes, you running around like Ranma from Ranma One Half interviewing people, then don't do it. But at least now people know that they see your old stuff that you might do it, in the future, so it's not jarring to them.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I
so
remember. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, just people need to stop. They need to get out of their fucking manga rooms and see what other people from other categories are doing. Like,
Yeah.
look what people that do cat videos are doing. A lot of
Right.
stuff is just watching, cats do stuff. But then there's a lot of stuff where they're like, let's look at new products and see how my cat likes it. Let's figure out and do like voiceovers,
Yeah.
for the cat to make it interesting. I've been watching spider pet videos. I'm afraid of spiders. Like I hate spiders. Like it's a phobia of mine.
Yeah.
But they're so adorable when it's just like this little spider and it's like a little baby voice go, "Hi mom, I'm hungry," and stuff, and I watch it and I'm like, this is adorable. I wouldn't watch it if there wasn't a voiceover to it,
Yeah.
like, so
That's great.
you have
Hi,
you have
Mom.
to you have to stop filming, by your manga. Start watching what other people are doing, why people are being successful on any platform that you want to be on,
Yeah.
and try to bring that into your hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's me. I just stand in front of my bookshelf and
Yeah.
I act like a fool.
That's a lot
But
of us, right?
we gotta be smarter. Everyone's got to be smarter, and we gotta work together to really push the boundaries.
Right.
um
Which,
Especially when people say like, oh, manga, there's not a big community for it, you couple thousand people and you're on top and stuff. That's not the case. It's because people don't want to watch the content. There's a couple of thousand people that want to watch the content, and then the other people get bored of it,
Yeah.
and that's what it is. Every anime fan loves manga,
Yeah.
but
right.
not every manga fan loves anime. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of manga fans that don't watch like AniTubers because they're like, we don't like watching anime because
Yeah.
they've ruined the series that we love, stuff like that. Um, so you just have to get more creative. And this is for the people listening. Get more creative. Do things outside of the box. I mean, I don't care if you embarrass yourself 30 days, in a year,
Mm-hmm.
just doing stupid things in public. Just have fun with it.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that if you just keep doing things and, eventually you will find a, a niche within the niche and you will skyrocket past the point of, you know, you're in Willy Wonka's elevator and you just shot through the factory.
Yeah.
That's true. That is definitely true. Like especially when we started this, the idea was behind it was, well, we have so much nerdy stuff that we like to talk about, then let's do it. Because there were times, especially for Mike, where it was hard putting out manga content and then wanting to put out like an actual comic,
Oh,
and
that's true. That's
and
true.
and people already knew you as like one of the manga guys, not
Yeah.
as a comic guy, so they didn't even want to accept it. So
True.
I really think that us
I
starting off
still,
with
I still, I still face that battle today.
Yeah.
Like slowly putting out like comic book content and talking about comics. In reality, they're the same. They're the same fucking medium, you know.
Right.
And
No, they're not. Let's face
no,
it.
let's face it, they
No.
are.
Let's face it. Independent Western comics are around the same. Mainstream Western comics are bullshit. If I wanted to read the exact same story of Batman and Superman, I'd be an idiot. But like Image Comics, Dark Horse stuff, they put out amazing content.
Oh no, they do. Yeah.
But that's why I think manga is better, because there's like niches, like isekais and all that, but you can find literally anything you want in the story instead of the same old like, oh, Spider-Man versus Doc Ock, uh, the X-Men versus Magneto and the Brotherhood. Like, that's why I think, like, you give content to independent like companies, that aren't the two main things, which is great.
Yeah, that
Um,
aren't
But I love the
superheroes.
two main things as well.
That aren't
well, I do
superheroes.
too, but we all know that it's stale as fuck.
At times, yes, it is. I
Like,
think it goes through ebbs and flows, honestly.
when Court of Owls came out for Batman, it was huge because it was the first original thing that came out in years.
Yeah.
But also, when you're doing content, set a day for other things. Like, do, like, if you want to branch out in comics, do like Saturday comic reviews or whatever.
Yeah.
So then people just start knowing that, oh, it's Saturday, here's the comics.
That's true. I just have to have time to do it, type of thing.
But there's always a way for people to do it. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people are afraid to
True.
kind of get into different things
Yeah.
because they'll think they'll lose the people that they have.
Yeah.
In essence, you're only going to lose the people on the views of the videos that they don't want to watch.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, like I felt that way too when I was branching out into more content and stuff like that, Because when I started, I did like anime stuff.
Right.
And then it branched into manga, and it branched into Gunpla, and it branched into me eating weird food on Japanese food.
You know it's really weird that your very first video was actually a cat video.
Oh, it was.
Of a cat eating pizza.
It was a cat eating pizza.
How far you've come, sir. How far you've come.
Well, yeah.
That's funny.
Shit.
Like, I always want to grow as a creator. There are times where I have become discouraged in creating videos and content, but I feel like if you take my videos from before and look at now, like I have evolved and changed as a creator, and I don't know.
That's true. And I would point out too, like, that's like what other people are seeing. That's not, like, from my standpoint, that's not what I'm seeing, because I get all the background and filtered stuff of like every fight or battle or whatever, where it's like, shit, I'm trying to learn this new thing for the podcast, and fuck, I can't do it, but I'm trying, and then you come back and you send me something or text me whatever and say, what does this look like? I'm like, oh shit, you hit gold there, so I think that's another crazy thing just about this whole thing of us actually doing the podcast and stuff now compared to YouTube. Because YouTube is like, oh yeah, everybody does that. It didn't seem like there were battles to it. It's like, oh, we'll just get a new whatever. Or this one, it's like we're continuously learning and growing and everything else, and having to push the boulder up the hill to be able to do stuff.
Right. It's like you've gone away from pigeonholing yourself,
Right.
because when you do YouTube, you first, you look at what other people are doing, but then you see that they're all doing the same thing, so you start doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But once you're off of that stuff, you don't see what other people are doing, so you can just do whatever you want.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about, oh, well, this person got 20,000 views over here and this person got 15,000 views over here, so I got to do that. Like, you're like, this is what I want to do, and we're going to find an audience no matter what.
Yeah, no,
Right.
most definitely.
And the other thing I realized more so when we started doing this is it wasn't us, like you said, fighting the crowd of everybody else trying to make the same content. It was us trying to fight ourselves to outdo ourselves every time we record something. So I think that's a really good thing as well, is when you take that into you take that and you start looking at it and you go, okay, well, not how do I outdo this person that's kind of doing the same content or whatever. They do it their way. I can't be them. But to look at yourself and say, okay, well, how do I outdo me every time? And the more and more you do that, the better and better you get, because you're always chasing yourself to get better.
Matthew McConaughey had a great speech about, like, who do I look up to? Who do I inspire to be, and all that. And
let me just tell you, when you say this, Mug's gonna be like, Jen tells me this like every other week.
He's like,
all right.
Who do you chase? Yourself in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because you'll never
exactly
be that person. So you chase for more and more and more without ever reaching
right
that.
Thank you for quoting the potential next governor of Texas.
Well, I just feel weird. You and I have had this talk about the podcast like 20 times already, and I always use that story.
Anyways, let's move on to the next question. Jen, what's the next question?
How I follow that up? Shit.
I don't want to talk about Matthew McConaughey.
Well, so I want to go back to like how we actually started becoming like really good friends, Ben, which is with the one chip challenge and stuff.
Man.
Have you done any other challenges since then that you just haven't posted out there for people to see?
Yeah, I have. And they'll never be posted.
Were they just that bad? You're like, oh no.
The one was really bad. One is for a health reason I can't post.
Okay.
But I will be doing more challenges in the future. But I can legally talk about them. It's just, I don't want stuff to be shown like that. But one was I did a super spicy ramen challenge with 9 million Scoville unit hot sauce in the broth.
Oh my gosh.
And I ate it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a smart idea to chug the broth.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I didn't post that because I didn't make it through the video at all.
Oh my god.
Like, the oil in there was the worst part. It wasn't even like the hotness. It was just that oil destroyed my stomach so much.
Oh man,
it wouldn't let anything settle.
I would have blew chunks.
So then the other one, I was doing a challenge. It was Carolina Reaper Peanut Challenge, where I had to finish a whole bag.
Oh yeah.
And this isn't like the Death Nut.
It's not the Death Nut?
No.
This is like 3 ounces of just peanuts in Carolina Reaper powder.
Oh shit.
And the thing is, I have to finish the whole bag without drinking anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And just the dryness of those peanuts and not drinking anything, it hurt my throat so much that I didn't want to post it.
Oh man. Because I remember when you did the one chip challenge, and you had to answer the trivia questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were your thoughts going into that, and what were your thoughts about that particular one after you got finished with it?
So what I thought was, I wanted to do the one chip challenge, right?
Yeah.
but I'm also that manga guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's add both of them together.
Right.
Mhm.
So I asked my brother, I'm like, hey, make some like trivia questions about manga and anime and stuff. So while I do this, I have to, do the trivia.
Mhm.
And I thought it was a great idea. And I know my brother isn't too in tuned with a lot of series.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's more the mainstream type
Yeah.
of guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, these questions won't be that hard. The questions will be easy. They'll be fine. It'll
Uh-huh.
take my mind off the pain. So that's good.
Uh-huh.
So I go into it, and he wants to do this whole like crazy intro, and I'm like, "What are you, a director? Like
Right.
you work in a factory? Like calm down." So we got everything up, and before we filmed it, I did that little Instagram live thing
Uh-huh.
with all the other, kind of like Halloween candy and stuff like that.
Yeah, with
And
the
we
zombie
cut it out.
Skittles.
Yeah, yeah.
You ate the what was it? It was it flaming hot macaroni?
Yeah, it was the Cheetos macaroni.
Okay.
And there's like three different ones. There's the regular,
Uh-huh.
the hot Cheeto,
Yeah.
and then or the what is it called? That
The-
flaming hot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then the jalapeno one. We
Okay.
tried that and tried a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, this is actually might be good because it's starting
Uh-huh.
to heat up my mouth and that for this chip.
Mhm.
Yeah, that didn't fucking help at all.
Right? Right?
So I had a big old pint thing of ice cream, and we
Yeah.
set up the table so it would look like I had product placement everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I didn't really talk about it because if I did, then that'd probably be like a crime or whatever. But
Mhm.
I had it set up, and I didn't know at the time, but I had the big old like cup, and that was Alita.
Uh-huh.
When that movie was out, so
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that I had like a manga anime movie adaptation cup on the
Uh-huh.
table. But I thought that was like a great thing after
Yeah.
rewatching it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So the chip's huge.
Yes.
Like I got a
No
fucking mouth.
shit. No shit. That chip is fucking huge.
And I was watching Hot Ones do it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Sean broke it in half before he threw it in his mouth. So I'm like, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Instead of try to like force us and then just all that powder getting everywhere. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do that. We had a nurse on standby.
Yeah.
My brother's wife. We had a nurse on standby. She had gloves for me to wear, so that was even better.
Yeah.
She wasn't help. She laughed the whole time.
Yeah, that's normally how it is, right?
like I was there. A lot of friends were saying like, hey, there's people are going to the hospital because of this. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just have a nurse on standby and it'll be fine, because I do have some breathing problems with asthma and stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm like, whatever. So I put it in my mouth
Yeah.
and I start chewing, and within 5 seconds, I'm like, I've made a bad decision.
Yes.
And so the questions are super easy. It's like, what's the main character of Dragon Ball's name, right?
Right.
Mhm.
But when you have this fucking heat in your mouth, you can't think straight.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's asking me these simple questions, and I'm having a hard time coming up with the answer right away. And all I want him to do is shut the F up. Like, all I want to do is sit here and not do anything
Right.
and not talk, because talking hurts and breathing hurts. And I just want to like sit in my own pain.
Mhm.
And he keeps asking me these stupid questions, and halfway through I'm like, why did I fucking ask him to do trivia? This is so bullshit. And
Right.
And then I think the only one I really got wrong was Chi-Chi's dad's name.
Okay.
You know, I called him the Ox King, but his actual name I spaced out on.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Ox King works. You know.
Yeah.
A lot of people call him that. Anyway, so after that happened, I'm like, I'm just gonna do it for 5 minutes. I don't want to do like a speed up thing to try to go as long as possible because once the heat dies down, the video's kind of over, right? Then
Yeah.
it's just me
Right.
sitting there. So I was like, 5 minutes. That's fine. You know, if I make it to 5, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
So 5.5 minutes go by and it's done. I eat the whole ice cream within like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like I just down that thing, and then they asked me when I'm doing it again, and I told them to go to hell. And then I did like a highlight video for TikTok, and I posted it, and yeah, not a lot of people really saw it, but you know, it's whatever. It was fun.
I enjoy it.
The people that do see it and watch it, they rewatch it because you know, I have a very eccentric response.
Definitely.
My aunt watches it almost every week.
Oh my God.
She tells me, she's like, when are you doing another one? You know, because I watch this all the time and I show all my coworkers and all this. I'm like, oh my God. But I do have 2 more, and I might do one with my aunt. She wants to kind of do it.
That's
so
funny.
I might do like a family chip challenge.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Family
that'd be
edition.
Funny. Yeah, like when I did it, after I did it, I felt terrible afterwards. Like when you put the chip in your mouth, like it's instant heat, like you said, and my tongue swelled up, and I felt like my people were stabbing needles into my tongue. And the day after, like it went around my work, people saw this video.
Oh
and
my God!
And now constantly people ask me, "Are you gonna eat another one of those chips?" Like, I'm like, ugh.
You should be like, yeah. Whenever y'all get me 1,000 likes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I didn't feel the pain afterwards. After the ice cream, it was completely gone.
After I felt bad afterwards. I had a stomach ache afterwards, and the whole next day I had I felt like I got punched in the gut. Like it was bad.
Right. Oh man. Yeah. When I did mine, I guarantee like that night I didn't sleep at all. I could feel it like the whole time moving through my intestines and my stomach and everything. I could be like, it's right here. This is where it's at. all the way until I took a shit to get it out. I was like, it's here. Well, how do you know it's there? Because there's a fucking burning sensation the whole way. Okay. Like, you think birthing a child was as bad as this? I mean, that was the worst part because it was like, okay, well, pain, okay, yeah, feeling it the whole fucking time was horrible, and I think I sat in misery for like 10 hours, just like I didn't sleep that night,
it was bad.
nothing.
Well, I'm used to it. Like I've done last dab challenge. I've done another super spicy ramen challenge. So for me with spicy foods, like afterwards, it doesn't really affect me. You know, it doesn't burn going out. It doesn't do anything like that. Luckily, it was fine. But man, that chip can go to hell.
Would you recommend it for everybody else to do?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if you watch like a bunch of those videos, and you think it's funny, you should do it
and record yourself to
show that you did it.
Yeah.
To know why it sucks so much.
Yeah.
And I think for anything, if you're going to, enjoy something, try it for yourself.
Right.
You might not do it ever again, but at least you'll have a new appreciation and you'll think things are way more funny. Because when you spit out milk, Mike,
Yeah.
when you just couldn't really keep it in your mouth, you're just like, oh God, I know that pain. And that was the funniest thing, not just because it happened, because I know why it
Right.
It went everywhere. Like I was cleaning milk up off the blinds.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
it
Well,
was so bad.
now that we've done the movie or whatever, so the part where you just sat there for a second, and in Beverly Hills Ninja, where he's dressed up as a chef and he leans forward and puts his head on the grill, and then he picks up the steak and puts it there. That was the scene whenever you sat there for a moment that was in my head for that part. You were sitting there like, oh, because you were just defeated in that moment.
I was. Because
Like,
I only lasted like a minute 30 seconds.
Hey, that's how long I last in bed, so it's all good.
Anyways,
do you ever do? Do you ever do
No, I don't do porn. Sorry.
Not yet.
not yet.
Maybe on Porn Talk.
Yeah, there you go.
Because those are only 3 minutes long.
I mean, you might. You never know. You might be on somebody's food porn channel. So I guess you would be doing porn. They're like, we got Ben's one chip challenge on there. Okay, this is my fucking favorite thing to watch. But
that husky guy does Carolina Reaper chip.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
This is such a turn on. Let me drop my pants. Do you ever do quantity challenges instead of heat?
No.
At all? Okay.
With my fat ass, I can't do eat so many things in one sitting or something.
Yeah. I messaged Mike because for Valentine's Day, Target had a lot of these big gummies. It was like a 3-pound gummy. And I told Mike, I said, you should get one and we'll do it together. So I get this big ass strawberry unicorn gummy. I'm gonna see how I can eat this. I think I got it done in 5 minutes. And I was like, I fucking hate this. Because by the end of it,
and I said no.
By the end of it, you're like, I can't even tell what flavor this is anymore. It's just gummy, and your jaw hurts, and you're like, I'm tired of fucking chewing.
I think on that regards, I would do it if it's a restaurant challenge.
Yeah.
If it's some place where I have to go, but I'm not gonna sit in my kitchen and eat like 30 pounds of mac and cheese.
Oh yeah.
I think if I go out in public and I do something where it's you get a T-shirt or you go on the Wall of Fame or something like that, that's something I would do. Not just let me show you how I usually eat, guys.
Right.
So moving on to the next question, you on your channel you had the weekly shonen. I guess it was a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Are you ever going to bring that back in any sort of other capacity? Actually make it into a podcast instead of keeping it on YouTube? Or
So when the weekly shonen came out, me and Zero Straw Hats, great guy, by the way. We did shonen.
You did 4 or 5 podcasts, right?
Right. We started that just because we kind of just wanted to sit down and talk, about it. Where it's not like an actual video for stuff. We can just off the cuff talk what we want to. And then it stopped for work related stuff and people got busy. And I know Zero has been really busy. We've talked before about bringing it back and doing more of this type of podcast where it's not just about shonen. It's about everything.
Yeah.
Right.
But with everyone's schedule, and I don't want to put words in Jordan's mouth or anything
Yeah.
like that. But he's super busy. He's got his own stuff going on.
Yeah.
I don't think he's back yet
Okay.
to YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Let me see. Maybe he is. Maybe, but yeah. Yeah, so he's been kind of doing his own thing.
Okay.
So I haven't really pushed it.
Okay.
We talked about it. We might do something later down the line. We're still good friends, but I
Yeah.
know he got really into gaming,
Okay.
and with his work and everything there, um, it's not going to be anytime soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought y'all guys had like really good chemistry, and I thought they were really fun to listen to. Like I would put them on at work and listen to them and stuff like that. And I was just curious because I hadn't seen it in a while, and I was like, I wonder if that's ever coming back.
Yeah, the weekly shonen um, is nothing without Jordan.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do anything without him, and I want to make sure that we both have a renewed love for
Yeah.
for what we're talking about before we get back into it,
Yeah.
because
Right.
I was burned out, he's burned out. We gotta do something else and then come back,
Yeah.
and we might come back with a vengeance and like do like 30 of them in a row and go crazy, or we
Yeah.
might just do like a monthly show or
Yeah.
whatever. But it's not off the table. But as of right now,
It's just on
there's no
pause.
production for it.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. It's a possibility.
Right.
Yeah.
So anybody out there that has actually listened to the Weekly Shonen, just know, kind of like with Ghostbusters 3, it might show up.
It's not dead. It's just sleeping. Okay.
All right. So moving on, our next question: what are your thoughts on the current aftermarket for manga prices?
um, I
You would put
I
him on the
think people
spot with this
are
one.
stupid.
You don't have to
I,
censor yourself on here. It's okay.
no, I know. I'm just wanting. I think people who buy manga for what it is
Uh-huh.
are stupid, and gullible. I think people that are selling it, that now there's a difference between like scammers
Mm-hmm.
that like just buy everything up and sell it.
Yeah.
Like bigger foreign companies and that are
Mhm.
doing it. They already know kind of who they are and what they're about and where they're going once they die. But like um, just random people that are popping the market off for no reason. Um, I think they don't understand what's really going on and how it's actually destroying the community.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's people that are bigger in the community and they're just being assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a niche market, in a niche market already,
Mm-hmm.
to to basically put people out of buying price,
Yeah.
and you're putting newer people out of being able to get into the hobby, um, you're a scumbag. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And companies know this, and stores know this, and they do it because there are whales out there. People that they'll pay the price that's presented. But manga, like in stock manga, not in stock, but in print manga,
Mm-hmm.
should not be going for out of print
Right.
prices
Oh yeah, most
at
definitely.
all. And people are using the whole COVID thing um, as a way to make a quick buck. And I get it, like people want to make money, but there's also like a moral thing of,
Yeah.
are you going to be morally objective on selling Chainsaw Man Volume 1 for $30
Yeah.
and not bitch about when you're buying Battle Royale 10 for like $45?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like if you're gonna put people out of the market to even get in, nobody's. All right, here's the thing. When you go to Barnes and Noble and you buy a book for $10, and then you go, I really like it, but they're out. So I'm gonna go online and you see that volume 2 is like $45.
You're like, nope, don't want to get it.
You're not gonna buy it. You're just gonna sell the first one for whatever price people are buying it for and just be done with it.
Yeah.
And that's why I advocate the Shonen Jump app.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere I go, people are like, "Hey, do you have the Chainsaw Man volume?" No, but for $2 a month, you can read the whole thing
Yeah.
Right.
on the app. And screw these people that are basically buying every volume that they can in store and selling it for $30-$40.
Which is weird because they're just gonna make more of those.
That's true.
They're just gonna.
I
This is just
mean,
gonna pump out more.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the whole
I mean,
thing
it
is
inflates it anyway.
like production on everything has practically gone to non-existent.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Plus, they have to still produce all the new stuff that are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So, for a company to just stop making like volumes like that, it's stupid. What they're doing is they're taking the resources they have, they're making sure they have all the new stuff that's coming out for the year done, and then they're going to print all the older stuff that needs to be printed, like One Piece box sets,
Right.
like Chainsaw Man, like Jujutsu Kaisen. It's coming out. Just hold your horses. And it's just like consoles, PS5, Xbox. You can't find a single one in store like just to go and get Switches for a while. People are paying double price for it just to have it, when honestly you can just wait a year. Everything will kind of get back to normal. They'll be able to buy more. Everybody who wants to get it and like wait, sit at their computer for 5 hours before like restocks happen, and they'll all be gone because they have it. So you'll just be able to pick it up for the price it's originally supposed to be sold at.
Yeah.
I think uh, people need to realize their financial stuff first, which I mean is, if you can't afford something, don't buy it.
This is true. I feel like that's another thing that we could talk about almost, and it seems almost scammy in a way too. But when and the one of the people that did it to me before just got done doing it to Mike like last week, where they're like, "Oh, I'm so underprivileged, I can't afford manga," and they kind of almost make it seem like because you can afford it, like, would you be like willing to send me like half of your collection? Like,
Yeah, no, that's not
yeah,
my problem. That's your fault.
exactly. But it's like, well,
Yeah.
how are you buying stuff then? Like you say that you can't afford it, but then you put different videos out and all this other stuff. Like, what are you doing?
Here's my take on it. People do what they got to do. It's the aftermarket. You can't control it. Whatever.
Right.
If people want to buy it for that price, they buy it.
Yeah.
I think it's scummy to not, instead, like, if you're a big content creator and you have these volumes, don't sell for $30. Do giveaways.
That's true.
Do something that helps the community, which in fact helps you in return, because people come by and you'll be like, hey, like, answer these questions on some Instagram posts that are coming out this week, and I'll pick a winner and they get the first, like, 4 volumes of Chainsaw Man, and I'll
Yeah.
send it to them. Like, that helps people out. Selling it only helps you out, no matter
Right.
what.
Right. And doing a giveaway actually gives you like more notoriety because that person's going to go around and say, "Hey, I did this giveaway, and I got it from such and such." Not, "Oh, I sold it. I bought it from such and such." Nobody
Like I was
cares.
thinking,
Nobody cares about who you bought it from, but people care about when you get it from a giveaway.
yeah, like I was thinking about just buying out Barnes and Noble's online stock of Chainsaw Man and giving it away for anybody that says hi. Like I don't care. Um, I'm selling my original Shaman King 1 through 14
Yeah.
for $80.
It's
Right.
not a bad price.
It's a really cheap price.
Yeah.
Because I mean the first 10 volumes you usually sell for like 100.
So are you gonna get the omnibuses for that?
Probably not.
Okay.
Truthfully, I didn't really get into it.
I
I
got you.
thought I would, but I'm like,
It was good. It just wasn't that good.
I'm just like, I wanted to have for the
Uh-huh.
collection,
Yeah.
just single volumes, not on omnibuses, the out of print single volumes. I wanted for the collection, but
Right.
I can't get into the story. The story is boring to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable. You just didn't get into it,
Yeah.
Like I'm selling One Piece box set 1 for $80.
That's not a bad price. Those usually go for over 100.
Yeah. Like I'm not trying to scam people out. I want people to get in and be able to get what they want and read it. But I've also talked to 2 people that want to buy it, and I realized that what they're doing was buying it to resell it.
Or flip it.
So I told them to go to hell.
Yeah.
I'd rather sell it for dirt cheap to somebody who actually really wants it and wants it for their collection and will read it than to somebody who's just gonna like try to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
Now I understand if I would sell my whole collection off, I'd sell it for like, $4 or $5 a volume. And I mean most of my collection's like hardcover. So I would take a huge loss on it. But of course, that's like 300 volumes,
Right.
I can't just sell it for what I could just on eBay, single volume price. So, and that I don't care what you do with that. But right now, if I'm gonna sell something, I want it to go towards somebody who has been looking for it forever, or sell it to a parent whose kid really wants it and they can't afford to pay $400 for a box. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get you.
Manga is not Pokemon cards, people. Stop trying to make it into
Most definitely.
I'll trade you for my rare holographic Charizard.
If you want to make money off of manga, stop buying Chainsaw Man and start buying shit like Mushishi and like Maximum Muscle and stuff like that. Like start buying manga that actually will retain its value.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's most definitely true.
If you're gonna bitch about having to spend almost $1,000 to get a full complete Mushishi run in English, and then start talking about how you sold Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 2 for $25 and that, you're a hypocrite and you should go to hell.
Yeah, because I'll get online and I'll look up stuff like on like series that I've already completed,
Yeah.
And like I was like, oh, that's gone up in price. That was like $50 like a year ago. Now it's like $200 for like all 10 volumes.
Right.
I'm just baffled because it's a series that Jen really wants, and I'm just baffled that like this series that nobody talks about is going for like this amount of money. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, Viz.
Which it
Viz
really
always will restock.
It really hurts me in that aspect too, because you'll send me something, I'll be like, I can't afford that. You know, you know, I can't buy that right now. I can't
Yeah.
do that. And I think that's another thing. Like with, I would call it like manga growth. Like when you realize that you have to adult and you may have to get rid of some of it
Yeah.
instead of saying, okay, well, where can I do to make a quick buck or whatever, or something like that.
I
Then
mean, I just did that. I just got rid of a whole box of manga.
which I mean, like we also have a friend too that sits there and you know can't stop buying anything. So
Yeah.
at
What's
some
his name? I got a collection you can buy.
His name is Bizarre Individual.
Oh yeah. I talked to Bizarre, but
Yeah.
at the time was like I don't want to sell my collection,
Yeah.
so
Right,
I want to sell it at like the price that I put it at.
right,
Mhm.
And if you don't like the price, I am like he was looking at some JoJo stuff for me, and I'm like, all right, I'll do 15 a piece.
Uh-huh. That's
And
that's that's about
he's
like
like,
market
but
value, right? That's almost like cover price.
that's right.
well, $20 is cover
Yeah,
price.
24. So it's like $5
Yeah,
off the cover
So,
price.
yeah, that's right
but
stuff
it's
price.
cheaper to get
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I'm like, or I think he said like, that's new price on right stuff or whatever. And
Right,
I'm
Yeah.
like, that totally fine. I get it. But this is the price I'm selling it for.
Hmm.
But I hope you find what you're looking for later. Like no ill intent, nothing. I just
Yeah.
know that if I'm gonna sell something that I love, I want to sell it for what I want to sell it for
Oh yeah.
right,
because I don't need to get rid of it. It's not
Yeah.
like I need to, pay rent tomorrow and I need money, so I'll
right,
sell it for like $7.
right,
It's more or less if you want it, here's the deal. If you don't, totally get it, dude. Totally get it.
Hmm.
right. Which I mean, I feel that way too. In the aspect of, I feel like a lot of people that are kind of in our groups of manga tube or whatever we are now, you know, you do have people that go off the right stuff price, and it's like, well, if you're going to do that, then why are you asking me about mine? Because if right stuff ever went down, of course you're selling it at a cheaper price than anybody else could, you know. So I think we've all put it in our heads too, like, oh well, if I can't get it for right stuff price, but right stuff is a big company that can sell it for that at a good discount.
They're
Yeah.
also always out of stock on stuff too.
Exactly.
That's because a lot
So
of people are buying stuff from them.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I totally get it. Like I'm not upset. Like and I don't want people to be upset with me when they hear a price. They're like, but
Yeah.
I can get it elsewhere. That's understandable, and I totally agree with you. You can, but I also don't want to get rid of it if I don't
Yeah.
have to.
I
So
mean,
right,
I feel like you're being reasonable with your prices. Honestly, like it's
yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
not saying anyone was upset about it. They're
Yeah.
yeah,
just like, I'm not going to buy it. I can get it elsewhere.
Yeah.
When I for money. Also, I'm selling them in bulk.
Hmm.
right.
Um,
And
like
together,
I'm not gonna piece out
right,
something. If you want to, get let's say JoJo Part 4, you're gonna buy 1 through 9 from me. You're not gonna
Yeah.
buy 3, 7, and 8 because now what the hell am I gonna do with the other ones?
Yeah.
right,
True.
right. No, that makes a lot of sense.
True.
Which I think that too, that it's really funny just that people do sit there and do that because like you could do, say, hey, I'm gonna buy the first six or whatever, and at your price, it'd be $90, but you could say I'm selling it for 89,
Yeah.
or something like that. But that's the instance. Like you have to think about it. Do I want to wait for so long before it could be in stock again before I get it, or do I just want to go ahead and buy it now? You know,
Um, yeah, and if people like, I'm okay with selling my whole collection
right,
for for a price. if somebody was like, hey, I want everything, we can discuss it, like, at that point. But I'm at the point now where I don't mind selling stuff, but I'm not gonna sell it piece by piece. I'm gonna do the whole thing together. And if you just need 3 volumes, then definitely don't buy from me, because you're gonna buy the whole series from me. So,
Which, don't you think it's kind of funny how people act about that way too when they know somebody versus like if you were just going to turn around and they didn't know, like you were selling it on eBay or something, you know? It's almost like they feel like you have to give it to them at a lower price, but or like you can piecemeal it out to them, but you're like, well, if you were going to go on eBay and you found it for the same price, wouldn't you just go ahead and just buy the whole thing and be like, okay, well, I'll have to piecemeal it out myself.
right.
So I don't really get that just because you know somebody that you feel like you have to take advantage of that too. But
I think it's more or less um, people are just like, well, I can get it here. Could you go any lower?
right,
And a lot of people, their initial price is their high point, and you can go lower for that negotiation. I think healthy negotiation is good for everybody. Um, it teaches you critical thinking skills.
right,
Yeah.
Um, but also when there's people that know kind of what they want, they're still going to give a deal, but they know, that this is set, right?
right,
Then you just kind of have to be like, okay, and then move on from that.
Yeah.
A lot of people might be like, okay, I can take a buck off a book, uh, for you, but it's the same price of whoever you are. Bill Gates could come here and be like, hey, can I buy all the JoJo's? Yeah, $15 a piece. Here you go.
right, right,
I'm not gonna like oversell something just because I know their financial issue or stability or whatever. Bill
Yeah.
Gates, billionaire. I could be like, oh, $40 a piece. And for Bill Gates, he probably knows nothing about the fucking market for manga. So we buy it. But would I feel good about it? No. I'd feel guilty no matter what.
Yeah.
Because
joke with them
in a
about it.
sense, I'm kind of stealing money from him at that
That's
point.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So moving on, what are your thoughts on the new crop of shonen titles that have been popping up recently, like Jujutsu Kaisen? Was it Demon Slayer? All the new ones that have come out. Because I know you're a big shonen guy.
I love Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
I think it's the best shonen in the
That's
last
yeah.
decade.
That one's like your baby.
Um, uh, I've read a little bit of Demon Slayer. I'm waiting for the box set to come out.
Yeah.
Just to get all of it.
Yeah.
At once. It wasn't bad. I think it's a weaker one. I think it's trying to be more like a Naruto One Piece type manga.
Mm-hmm.
In that regards, but it's good. I don't hate it. I can't say I love it, but I definitely don't hate it. It's interesting, but I think it's one of those like it's doing the formula
Yeah.
of other things. And
Because
Jujutsu Kaisen is like, here's the cliches in the first chapter.
yeah.
Now we're gonna do something and show that the main character isn't Daddy,
Uh-huh.
and here's Gojo.
Yeah, like I've found like Viz with the Shonen Jump titles, like they're doing some pretty interesting stuff, and like getting like some new different types of titles, like Spy X Family, or what's that kaiju one that's coming out? The
Kaiju number 9,
kaiju number 8. That's what it is.
8. That's
Yeah, just throwing out these titles, seeing if they stick, and they're not like generic
all right.
shonen. Stuff.
Let me talk about
All right.
the new stuff on the Shonen Jump,
All right.
and I'll tell you whether it's good or bad.
Okay.
Sakamoto Days,
Okay.
good.
All right.
The Elusive Samurai, if you like it, you might be. I don't think you've read anything else, but it's bad.
Okay.
Uh, Undead Unluck, good. It. Oh my god! If you haven't read Undead Unluck, you
Mhm.
need to.
That's one that's been
It's
going around, right? And
it's
people have been
so
liking it, right?
funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Um, Spy Family,
Yeah.
good, but it's starting to get stale now.
A little bit, yeah. A little
Um,
bit.
Shojin X, bad. Nine Dragons Ball Parade, bad. Me and Roboco, uh, kids like it, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't push it past the fact that it's pretty much a parody of shonen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but in a bad way. Uh, Kaiju number 8, good. Magu-chan, good. Uh,
Hmm.
Mashal, all right. I started to grow on it. But even like stuff that's been out for a while, Blue Exorcist, Twin Star Exorcist, Seraph of the End,
Yeah.
they're run of the mill stuff.
Yeah.
My Hero Academia has completely died for me.
Why is that?
It's not evolving. It's not
Okay.
evolving at all.
I've heard people say that the villains aren't that interesting anymore.
After what's his name, Overload,
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
uh, it it's the same thing, and it's boring as hell. Um,
Yeah.
let's see another
Right.
big one on here. Uh,
Which I've heard that
Baruto
too.
sucks. Uh,
Boruto.
One
Yeah.
Punch Man is getting really. Now it's not boring, but it's monthly. So
Yeah.
for a monthly manga that only has 19 pages to it,
That's
that's
that's one
horrible.
I've always considered about like picking back up. Because when I first started collecting manga, I loved it, and I was like, I got kind of bored with it, and I was like, I kind of want to jump back in, maybe, with One Punch Man.
Yeah, that was one that it slowed down like in the
Yeah,
middle for a bit, and then you had to like wait for it to come back.
yeah.
So
Anyway, sorry for interrupting.
Chainsaw Man, it was okay for how short it is.
Yeah,
Um, I think Promise Neverland is the best shonen title, uh, besides Jujutsu Kaisen. I think running right now, Jujutsu Kaisen's the best ever,
I have to disagree with you.
but Promise Neverland is amazing.
World's End Harem is the best shonen title out right now.
you're so stupid.
Doctor Stone,
Yeah.
I don't for for a manga to be heavily about science and
Yeah.
have kids actually appreciate it.
Uh huh.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think, and that's the beauty about manga, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You can have Dragon Ball, but then you can have something that's technically very scientifically accurate, like
Yeah.
Doctor Stone.
Right.
And even though it's still like up there uh, with how zany it is and that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still more like this is why this happens, this is why this happens, kind of thing. Than like you have chi power and you're Super Saiyan now, and people still like it. That's great.
Yeah.
I It's not a jump title, but I think the Seven Deadly Sins is great.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the better kind of medieval fantasy type shonen titles
Mm-hmm.
that's been out. And we can't really talk about shonen without talking about like my favorite right now, and that's JoJo. The best thing that's come out.
Yeah. A lot of people love that one.
I mean, it's been out since the '80s and it's still going,
That's true.
That's true.
and
That's
it's always evolving. Every
yeah.
single part is different than the last, and the art style keeps changing. Like Araki never keeps things.
It's funny how like he was inspired by the Fist of the North Star guys.
Yeah, Brunson.
Yeah, and his original like the original first story is a very similar art wise to that, and how he's evolved and like changed. It's really interesting to see like and look at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the fact that it's a story about a generation of families
yeah,
and not just the same main character
yeah.
just holds true to how he can make such interesting characters.
And
Right.
how the like characters will be in a one story and then come back later on, and they can be like completely different, you know, and changed over time. You know, you see like Jotaro change, you know, over time.
Yeah, how he was an asshole in part 3 and
Yeah.
how he became, I mean, he's still one, but like
Doesn't
more
he
of a,
become like a marine biologist?
yes.
He's like a proper asshole now.
um Not gonna say anything, but the anime for Stone Ocean's coming out, and you really see a huge development of Jotaro in that.
Okay.
Like an emotional tear jerking.
Stone Ocean, that's the
change.
one. That's the one with his daughter, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's the one a lot of people don't like because there's a girl in it, right?
Oh, it's probably one of the best parts.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's what I hear. You know?
I'm not gonna lie. I really like Josuke. Giorno is amazing. Part 5, but part 6, out of this universe's continue uh, like story, because
Uh-huh.
after part 6, it's a whole nother kind of like parallel universe type thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Part 6 is the best out of 1 through 6.
Okay.
It has the best fucking villain. It has the best supporting characters.
Mm-hmm.
You see Jolene and Jotaro, uh, their family bond, and you see like Jotaro turn from the selfish kind of guy to being more like fatherly to
Mm-hmm.
his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and his daughter learning that his father's not a big asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get that a lot more in this
Mhm.
one. And people who don't like it because there's a female character, just know you're not going to get laid tonight either. Like, it's fine. Like, calm down. It's a great character. Just because she has a
That-
vagina.
just
That
know you're not gonna get laid.
well, what I heard about that, like they bring in like a female main character, that got me really interested in the series and to potentially check out. Because you don't see that a lot in like shonen manga,
Right.
you know, and I've heard she's a pretty cool character, you know, and
Oh, she's a badass.
yeah, you know, and that's all you want to see is a fucking badass, right? You know,
And here's the thing. For a series that is so macho and over the top with everything,
it's a sausage party.
like have you seen the poses? And you're gonna
Yeah,
be upset that there's
yeah,
a person with boobs and a vagina there?
yeah.
Like, that helps me out. There's something to finally look at. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you can't take something that's like
Right.
basically comes out of a 1980s nightclub in New
Yeah.
York, where cocaine and everything's going on and craziness, and be upset that there's a female main character.
So
There's practically a love story
yeah,
between fucking Dio and Jonathan in part 1, and you're
that
going
is
to be upset
true.
that there's a
That is
female
true.
main character. Like just love it for what it is,
Uh-huh.
and love the characters. There's a fucking dog side character in part 3, and you're upset that there's a female main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a midget in part 4 that has a stand that like evolves
Uh-huh.
with sound
Uh,
and looks like a lizard.
yeah,
And you're gonna be upset that there's a female main character.
from what I remember hearing is
There's
like
a manga artist that
from-
reads people and rewrites history. But you're gonna be upset that there's a
Oh my
female
God.
main character.
well, from
Yeah.
what
We'll
I
have to keep going.
from what I remember is they didn't a lot of people didn't like her, I think, and they weren't comfortable with the fact that she was like very comfortable in her sexuality. And she was like a strong-willed like female, I guess. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. What I need to tell them: get over yourself.
Yeah.
Females can also have jobs and do things. Calm down.
Yeah.
Stop beating your women and appreciate it.
So, as somebody, me, who is looking to get into JoJo's, where do you feel like I should start? Because I've watched the original OVA series, which was Stardust Crusaders.
Part 1.
But part one, should start with part one.
Always start at the
Hey,
beginning.
Even though people
Hey.
say like that's like the worst part.
Hey, you should
People
be.
who say it's the worst part are fucking uncultured.
Okay.
All they are adrenaline junkies.
Because I've
So-
thought about
So
checking it out.
you know where you have to start, right?
What?
You have to start with getting your mind free to read it and whatnot, because if not, you're not getting laid tonight either.
Oh, true.
At
True. God damn me.
You got to detox.
least we all have our own hands, right?
That's true.
Anyways, Jen, you want to move on to the next question?
Hold on, let me
Okay,
finish
go
this.
ahead.
So
We got him triggered.
One more time.
start at part 1 because you learn about the family.
Yeah.
You learn about the Joestards. You learn about Dio Brando. People say it's boring, and by that, they probably only read, Naruto in their life, so they don't understand how plot works. But it's really interesting. It's like Kung Fu meets Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Okay.
Right?
I've never heard somebody say that, but that's interesting.
There's some memorable characters. Jack the Ripper's in it.
Oh.
You learn about the Zeppeli family. You kind of get the backstory of the major 3 families.
Okay.
And then you go into part 2, and you know some of the characters in there. You understand what's going on. You know who the Zeppelis are. So when you meet Caesar, you're like, oh my god, I know. You know kind of where Joseph gets his stuff from. And then you learn more and more, and it ties into the first part.
Okay.
And then you go to part 3, and you know who Joseph is because Joseph's in there, and you understand kind of what's going on there, and you meet other characters. And then, Dio comes back, and you know who Dio is, and he's a big asshole, and he becomes a bigger villain for you because you already know what he can do and what he's capable of. So once you get there, you're at the part where everyone likes it. But everyone who says part 1 and part 2 kind of sucks are only there for the stands, and they're not really a fan of JoJo's.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. Jen, you have another question?
Definitely.
All right.
So last night I was poking around trying to get some questions from your Instagram and whatnot.
He was stalking you.
Oh, no.
I was. Sometimes when you're going to interview, you got to go like full stalker mode.
Right.
It was a long car trip to sleep in your closet. Okay.
But it's a comfy closet.
So cosplayers and stuff. How big of a Jessica Negri fan are you?
Oh, I love Jessica Negri. I love Jessica Negri.
Which one is she?
She is.
Is she the one who's like the controversial one that people don't like?
No, that's Momo.
No.
Oh, okay. I get you confused.
She's the one who would go to Comic-Con and dress up as sexy Pikachu and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
There's like a zombie chainsaw type game that came out a while ago.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I know which one you're talking about, but I can't remember what it's called.
But she was one of the models for
Okay.
her at Comic-Con.
Okay. Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh, you mean and she's the high school girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit. I know which one you're talking about.
It's the Suda 51 game.
No. It's. I think
A
it's like.
lollipop chainsaw.
Yeah.
It's
I was
made
like,
by
I know
Suda.
chainsaw is in the name.
It's made by Suda 51 as a game creator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know she does that, and she also has done the person for Persona 5 when she's in the red cat suit.
Yeah.
Lollipop
But
Chainsaw's
I
bonkers.
like how she does her thing, but she also has fun with it and doesn't take it too seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. I don't think I've seen a lot of her stuff.
Well, you should.
I'll have to go follow her on the Instagram. Yeah. Anyway, what was it?
Yeah. So,
That was a good question.
right? So, the another one that I have, which is only because I know you. So you have an affinity for hats. Would you ever wear an otakuology hat?
Yeah.
Hell, there you go, Mike.
But it'd have to be a fitted hat.
I need it worn every day. Need you to push it, and you know, you should be like, you listen to these guys. I was on there, okay. Go to.
Hey, if you send me an otakuology hat, I'll wear it. I'll wear it in every single Instagram post that I do.
Click.
Click. Not paid promotion.
Right. What are you doing? I'm here to do the one chip challenge again, guys. Let me set my hat right here. This Psychology podcast. Right before I eat this chip, I wanted to shout them out so that y'all would know to go watch them. Make sure you go watch episode 26. That's my episode. Okay.
What I would do is be like, and this paid promotion is by Shade Rattle or Raid Shadow Legends, and then just like constantly have like the hat on and T-shirt, and really just have posters up all about it, but talk about Raid, so I can dip twice. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
Get money from Raid, but then have everything just about the podcast.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's what I told Mike one time. I said it's kind of my dream is to walk out one time decked out in all of our products. Like even if we make shorts and crap, maybe we'll get a pair of shoes at some point, and just walk out and be like, "Hey guys, here I am. I'm all here for the world."
Just go to a con and they'll be like, "Oh, do you really like a podcast? Oh, this is mine." And they're like,
"What?"
Yeah, I'm that type of person that wears my own product. Yep.
Hey, or we could fucking like flash mob it where like one person walks out and you wait for one person to ask you, and then there's another person that walks out dressed up the same. That'll be one of those things we'll have to be like, Ben, we only have me and Mike that can do this. We're trying to get 10 people to be able to walk out and do this flash mob thing, all wearing the paraphernalia and stuff. Can you go down for the week? That'd be
like that. That's a $500 appearance fee.
So, do you have any other hobbies that people don't know about that you haven't talked about on your Instagram or TikTok? You know, stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, I'm a big cook. I love to cook. Grill, cook. I hate baking, but I'm big into fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So I love going out, in the wilderness and fishing. I hunt. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Sports. I like sports, but I'm not that big into it. I guess one of my hobbies is I like to complain a lot.
that's your side job.
That's my and I'm also I used to be a semi-pro Magic the Gathering player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never went on the tour circuit, but I did like every other like type of tournament and stuff back in the day.
Interesting.
So let me throw this at you real quick, just knowing that and me loving to cook. Are you that guy that goes out in the woods and cooks all the food? You know what I'm talking about? Like he builds the fire himself and he takes a cast iron thing and he sits out there with a cutting board and he like goes to town and just makes all the stuff out in nature.
No.
Okay. Oh, you're more of a glamper, right?
No, but like I mean, I'll pre-cut stuff. Oh. If I know I'm gonna bring like diced onions, I'll bring diced onions.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bring an onion and then cut it up there. Because
hey, you might do that if you if you're like, oh, I gotta make this TikTok video so I can get some moolah off of it, okay?
But yeah, I'm the person that starts the fire, cooks everything for everybody, and if we get a fish, cook that up or whatever, stuff like that. But
right,
that's cool.
I'm more of a prepared type of guy.
Yeah.
By prepared, I mean like I throw a bunch of shit together and then I go and then I'll think about what I make when I get there.
Same.
Because I don't know what I'm gonna want to eat. A couple of days before. It's like I'll just pack everything together and then we get there and guess what? We're making burritos in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of just like doing eggs and shit. Like let's just get creative, and if I want to make Mexican food, I'll make Mexican food.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of like brats or whatever.
Have you ever had it where you went camping or whatever and somebody ate and then it was like food wars?
No.
That doesn't happen.
I've never had somebody like
it could
come all over the fire.
Okay. I'm still waiting for that day,
I've had somebody. So story time. I was camping on my birthday with a couple of people, and I was cooking burgers, and everyone was eating their burgers, and my friend's girlfriend at the time was eating this burger, and then she's like, "Oh, this is disgusting." She's like, "I like it completely well done." So I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I walked over, I slapped her plate out of her hands, I ripped the burger out of her hands, and I go, "You don't get to eat today." And then I walked away.
Was it like medium rare?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's how I cook burgers all the time.
Yeah.
Little pink in the middle, get the juices and the flavor.
Right.
Like you should eat a burger. But she was like, I need it cooked all the way through. So all her food got hit on the ground, and I'm like, there's chips if you want that. She's like, but I want a burger. Okay, well, there's a fire. Go do it.
Right.
I don't burn my food, so there you go.
Yeah.
I'm notorious for that. Like steaks and burgers and that. No, you don't well done steaks.
He like the Gordon Ramsay of the forest.
Yeah. You fucking donut.
Gordon Ramsay of the forest. Oh my god. I fucking love that analogy. Shit.
Oh man. But I don't have any more questions. You want to wrap this up, Jen?
Definitely.
So I gotta let my dogs out.
Definitely. Just kick those shoes off. Shit.
No, my dogs.
You threw me off. God damn it. I was like, I think we're gonna get close to ending this. I could tell in Mike's voice, and then I was sitting there like, and then he had to fucking say Gordon Ramsay of the goddamn forest. Shit. I'm just gonna let you end it because
I just want to say thanks for coming on. You know,
I can't stop laughing about that crap.
this was very, very short notice type of thing, but I want to say thank you for coming on. I hope you
Yeah, no problem.
enjoyed yourself on the Otakuology podcast.
Right.
Plug where people can find you, please.
You can find me on Twitch at that manga guy. You can find me on TikTok at that manga guy, Instagram at that manga guy YT. I haven't changed that yet, but also if you want to check out, like the one chip challenge on that, check out my YouTube at that manga guy. It's really simple to find me, and if you don't see an ugly fat man man with glasses, you know,
Yeah.
on there, then it's not me. I am that manga guy, not the manga guy. So
Yeah. We will put all of your social medias in our description, as well as when we
Sweet.
throw it up on our YouTube channel and
What's your
the
TikTok?
podcast feed. You said that manga guy.
Oh,
Yeah, don't you listen?
No.
Jesus, you're a
Jeez.
fucking twig over there.
I was
Yeah.
still.
Just
I
standing
was.
around doing nothing.
I was still
What
stuck.
are you, a fucking donut?
Exactly. That's where I was stuck at.
I could go for a donut. Just saying.
Oh my
Me
god.
too.
Anyways, thanks for coming on. Hope everybody loved this episode of the podcast. You can contact us at Otakuology Podcast with any questions, concerns, topics you want us to cover. Check out our Instagram, our TikTok, stuff like that. Thanks for listening. And when can they see us next, Jen?
You can see us next Tuesday.
Yeah.